Alrighty, we are live. What's going on, Knicks Nation? Welcome into another Knicks Nation live show. Back-to-back live shows for you guys. Once again, appreciate you guys giving me your time. Appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I've got some few things we can talk about tonight. How you guys doing? Wait for more of you to trickle in here, and then we'll talk some Knicks on this Saturday nights. Many other things you guys can be doing on a Saturday night. Many other things I can be doing, but I don't want to do. I want to talk Knicks. I'm back. I'm ready. I'm recharged. What's going on, everybody? Nostalgic. Anthony, what up? This Rover, what up? Walter, appreciate you in the chat. Knicks Junkie, what up, man? Nostalgic, appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so Yudai Baba has signed with the New York Knicks Summer League, and we'll get into him. We'll get into, what he can provide to the Summer League team. A couple of names have been announced on the New York Knicks Summer League team that we'll get into. Mike Brown's contract has officially been revealed, so we'll get into that. And Yabu taking less money, so the New York Knicks have more money to give a veteran, which is important. And we'll talk about who that money can go towards and who the New York Knicks can sign, and we'll go through the names and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to come on here and hop on and give you guys some news. So this was official a few days ago, right? I'm kind of late to the party, but I wanted to dedicate a segment to talk about Yudai Baba. Excuse me. So Yudai Baba has officially signed with the New York Knicks Summer League, and we'll get into this. He's a Japanese sensation. I believe he had a stint with the Dallas Mavericks Summer League and with the club, I believe. We'll get into his stats, but Yudai Baba is officially on the New York Knicks Summer League. I'm excited to watch him play. Offers a lot of skills. Defensively, he's really good, by the way. And we'll go through his stats that, he was currently having in Japan. So he's a Japanese sensation, and he is on the New York Knicks Summer League team. How about that? Otonio, what up? How you doing? Al Horford. Don't think the New York Knicks are going to get Al Horford. Baba. Nostalgia says Baba. Let's go. This Rover says sensation is overselling it. I would like him on the team, Otonio. Yes. Yudai Baba. Officially on the New York Knicks Summer League team. This is going to bring eyeballs to the Summer League, by the way. This is going to bring many eyeballs to the New York Knicks Summer League. And I have an article pulled up that I would like to share my screen with you guys. And it pretty much, let me zoom in. A bunch of ads on this article, so my apologies. The New York Knicks Summer League team is set to welcome a distinctive talent to its roster. Yudai Baba, this 29-year-old Japanese star, brings not only skilled owned on the court, but also a flair for entertainment that has caught the attention of fans, commentators alike. One Australian commentator affectionately dubbed him as the Tokyo Drift. Tokyo Drift is in the Summer League, man. I watched a few highlights from Yudai Baba, and he's pretty electric, right? He's pretty electric. Tokyo Drift is kind of like a sick nickname for him. Baba Boom. Tokyo Drift. I kind of like Tokyo Drift better than Baba Boom. But he is, look, we're not going to get excited on here about, Yudai Baba, but it just gives you more of a reason to watch the Summer League, right? It just gives you more of a reason to turn it on and, see what these guys are about and see what Yudai Baba can bring to the table. A couple of his strengths, by the way, that I did a bit of a research. So he's an elite perimeter defender, Baba is known for locking down guards and wings with quick feet, active hands, and relentless effort. High motor, always hustling on the court. Athleticism, explosive first step, defensive versatility, can guard 1 through 3 effectively. Once again, I apologize for these ads. Let me try to get this ad out the way. But yeah, let's go to his stats so we can get that ad out the way. International experience, team-oriented mindset, plays unselfishly, makes the extra pass, and thrives in structured systems. So you love to hear that from Baba. Love the name, by the way. I love the name. Edward, what's going on? Dis Rover says, I'm excited to see how our sophomores are developing. Baba Booey. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you in the chat. We are talking about the newly Summer League edition Yudai Baba. Yudai Baba. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing that. Yudai Baba. I watched a YouTube video and they were pronouncing it Yudai Baba. So let's go. Let's do it. Amid with the super chat. Appreciate you with the super chat. Jeremy Lin 2.0 from Amid with the super chat. Appreciate that. Genius bringing him in. But, it's not just, you're bringing in somebody who's very popular overseas. He's actually, okay. Look, he's 29 years old, right? I mean, I'm just excited to watch him play Summer League. I mean, I would be lying to you guys if I would say that he's going to make the team and have an impact on this team right away in a crucial year. But a couple of his stats from May into April. So you could see he's a kind of like an all-around player on offense. Like 11 points, 7 assists here. 13 points, 4 assists, 15 points, 3 assists, 6 boards, 16 points. 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Inconsistent three-point shooter, as you can see here from Baba. Baba. Yudai Baba. But, yeah, Japanese sensation is what they're calling him. Tokyo Drift. Man, imagine him making noise in the garden and having the Tokyo Drift song come on every time he makes a basket. I wouldn't be opposed to that. So a couple of his weaknesses, right? We just go down the list. Inconsistent outside shooting, career 3-point shot about 30 to 32%. Not a reliable floor spacer at all. Limited shot creation. Doesn't really create his own shot. Size for the NBA, he's 6'4". He's 6'4", so he's slightly undersized for NBA traditional wing. So limited playmaking, injury concerns, has dealt with some minor injuries that slowed his development in the G League and NBL. So defense is his strong suit, right? I mean, that's his calling card, is defense. So that's his calling card. Elite perimeter defense. You love to see that. So I'm excited to see him play in the Summer League. I'm excited to see. It's not official yet, but I try to get the official roster, and the official roster has not been released. So here we have, but yeah, Yudai Baba, I'm excited to see you on the Summer League. Hopefully you can crack the squad, maybe. Nostalgic said it's going to be crazy. Dis Rover said he's 29. I don't think he can level up much more, unfortunately. Yeah. Maltonia says trade chips. Him, Kolek, Daddier, all of them could be not Yudai Baba, but all of the second-year sophomore players could be trade chips if the New York Knicks front office don't foresee them cracking the rotation, or if they don't crack the rotation. So, but yeah, I'm trying to get an official roster for the New York Knicks Summer League, and it hasn't come out yet. So this is from Hoops Hype. The official roster hasn't come out. So these are the official names that have been, guaranteed. Yudai Baba, Biwali Balis, Mohamed Diarrawa. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. James, Naji, Dink, Paint. Obviously, the sophomore players, I'm fully expecting them to play in the Summer League. You're talking about Tyler Kolek. You're talking about Pacom Daddier. You're talking about Kevin McCullough Jr., and you're talking about Ariel Hukporti Jr. I'm fully expecting those guys to play in the Summer League. So Summer League is coming up here fast, and I can't wait to watch. The NBA Summer League has officially started today, actually. I believe the Oklahoma City kicked off their Summer League today. A couple of teams have kicked off their Summer League today. And the Vegas Summer League kicks off in, next week, in about a week. So I'm excited to watch some our sophomore rookies play, and, Baba and a couple of other guys. Our second round pick from France, I'm excited to watch play. And a lot of, like Nostalgic says in the chat, a lot of talent will be portrayed in the New York Knicks Summer League. And hopefully one of these guys, look, it's Summer League. We've all witnessed Kevin Knox look like Kevin Durant, the second coming of Kevin Durant. And in the NBA, he just didn't pan out. It's Summer League, but it's still exciting to watch these guys grow. It's still exciting to watch these guys just play basketball. And, the New York Knicks, now that you have Mike Brown at the helm, he's probably going to implement his system a little bit. You're probably going to see some of his sets a little bit during the NBA Summer League. And, we can just go from there. And hopefully, these guys come out healthy. And hopefully, all you want to see is positives, right? All you want to see is positives. So I'm excited that New York Knicks signed Yudai Baba. Let's go. Not really expecting much out of him, by the way. I'm just, wanted to get that news out there for you guys. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. We are going to talk about some, just Knicks, wherever you guys want to go with the conversation. Honestly, I'll get to the Mike Brown contract. I'll get to the Yabu taking less money. Wherever you guys want to go, man. I'm just on here talking Knicks with you guys. And on this Saturday night. Once again, appreciate you guys. Dis Rover says Slim Fast and Kev going to explode. Mark my words. Nostalgia says the drafting has been excellent. Edward says July 11th we kick off. That is in 6 days. So, yeah, less than a week we kick off the NBA Summer League. Excited. Anthony says breaking news. Cam Whitmore was traded to the Washington Wizards. Can you believe it was for 2 second-round picks, right? The Wizards traded for Cam Whitmore for 2 second-round picks. And look, the New York Knicks own the Wizards' first-round pick next summer. It's top 8 protected. You have a feeling the Washington Wizards are going to do everything in their power to keep their pick. If that pick doesn't convert, the New York Knicks gets 2 second-round picks. And, there'll be high second-round picks, so that's not bad. I mean, look, second-round picks are valuable, guys. If that pick doesn't convert. There's some hidden gems in the second round. In every year. Every year, there's some hidden gems in the second round of the NBA draft. First round has always have the marquee players in picks 1 through 10, 1 through 15. But after that, you have to trust your development system. You have to trust your scouts. Second round has some gems. Kareem, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat, Kareem. How are you? Let's give shout outs to Yabu Dabba Doo for this discount. Oh man, Yabba Dabba Doo. We'll talk about that in a second. But yes, amazing that he was able to give the New York Knicks that little bit of a money, discount to be able to sign a veteran minimum. And we just have to wait and see who that veteran is going to be. Signed on the New York Knicks. Is it going to be Ben Simmons? Is it going to be Malcolm Brogdon? We shall see. But shout out to Yabu for that. Isaiah, what's going on? Glad you're in here, Isaiah. Glad to be back in the chat. Glad you're in here, Isaiah. Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate all of you in the chat, man. Thanks for the support. All right, so the other news I wanted to talk about. So Baba. Is Yabu, then is Baba. Yabu, Baba. Oh, man. So, Japanese sensation signs with the New York Knicks. Funny. Hilarious. The other news I wanted to get to is the news officially has come out regarding Mike Brown's contract numbers. This was first reported by CP, the franchise, over on Knicks Fan TV. He reported $8 to $9 million a year. Then Ian Begley later confirmed that number and said he is signing a 4-year, $40 million contract with the New York Knicks. So he is getting $10 million a year, right? Mike Brown. the Knicks still owe Tom Thibodeau at least $30 million on his contract. So between Thibodeau's deal, let me just pull up this tweet from Ian Begley. So let me just highlight this. So between Thibodeau's deal and Brown's deal, which was noted earlier by CP, New York has a total of $70 million in committed salary to the head coaching position over the next 4 years. $70 million committed to head coaches over the next 4 years. Now, look, that is a drop in the bucket to James Dolan, right? Don't care. He has it. That tells me that James Dolan and the Knicks front office are committed to winning an NBA championship. Thibodeau hasn't even started his extension yet, man. The man is going to collect millions and millions of dollars just by chilling. Take some vacations. Check comes in the mail from James Dolan. Oh, 2-3 million. What a life. But he deserved it. So $70 million in committed salary for the head coaching position. So Mike Brown, 4 for 40. That is confirmed from Ian Begley. Let me just put the graphic up again. 4 for 40. Not bad. Right? Not terrible. A lot of Knicks fans still think that Mike Brown was the wrong choice. Right? And because of his track record questions, the Sacramento Kings playoff record, right? The old Cavalier linger, the pressure, the lateral move feeling, right? A lot of fans think like that. I thought like that when we first hired him. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm cautiously optimistic, as El Figgy commented on one of my posts, and I feel the same way. You know, I feel the same way about Mike Brown. I'm cautiously optimistic about him. New voice in here, and let's go. You know, as Knicks fans, all we can do is trust Leon Rose, and he has done nothing but hit on every move. Like I would say his success rate is pretty damn good. So just trust him. Trust that he made the right decision, and let's rock. New voice, Dibs is gone, and let's go. So this is the contract for Mike Brown. 4 for 40 confirmed by Knick Fan TV, CP, and later confirmed by Ian Begley. Not a terrible contract. So, you know, let's get to work. Let's implement some of his sets in the Summer League, which is starting in 6 days. Thanks to you guys in the chat for letting me know that. And let's go. Nostalgia says Dolan money is getting wasted. Nostalgic, you know, $70 million committed in guaranteed contracts to coaches over the next 4 years is a lot of money. But guess what? Coaches don't have salary caps. There's no salary cap. You can give a coach $1 billion. It's not going to go against your salary cap. It's not our money. Right? You had to give Tom Thibodeau an extension for what he did. You did it. You sent him along on his way with bags of cash. He's set for life. I know basketball is his life, but you did what you had. It had to be done, and now you move on to Mike Brown, which a lot of fans call a lateral move. But honestly, guys, we are not going to know if this works out until next May, next June. I know that sounds like a cop-out, but you know, I'm sure along the way, there's going to be some bumps. There's going to be some highs. There's going to be some lows. But right now in the Eastern Conference, the way it's set up, the New York Knicks are sitting right at top of the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. No matter who is at the helm. Right? No matter who is at the helm. You're just hoping Mike Brown can come in, implement some offensive stats, take this offense to the next level. And hopefully we can get Borrega, who can really help him on the assistant coach side. Hopefully we can get him signed. And hopefully this was the right decision. And let's rock. Nostalgia says Leon is on a hot seat. I don't think so, Nostalgic. I don't think so. Joel says, book it. What about Brunson's highest scoring game? How many points in one game? What's going on, Joel? Wayne says, say what you want about Dolan, but he is not cheap. No, he is not, Wayne. He is not. Edward says, I don't think Leon is done. I believe another big move is coming from Edward in the chat. A lot of people share that same sentiment, Edward. Again, it is July 5th. The New York Knicks did not trade for Cat until what? Right before training camp. So if an extension does not get done with Mikal Bridges, that's a name to watch. That's a name to watch. Anthony says, with those teams and Mike Brown head coach, those teams wasn't good as the New York Knicks team right now. Yeah, this is Mike Brown's best coach. This unit that he will ever, probably, most likely, ever coach. This Knicks team is super talented. More talented than that Cavs team. I know they had LeBron James, but they had a bunch of scrubs around them. More talented than the Kings team. More talented than the Lakers team. Talent all around, right? Isaiah says, listen, until Mike Brown does something honestly bad, I won't judge him. Yep. Exactly. I hope Cat gets 50 piece with the win. Cat 50 piece, 11-12 from 3. Jada Don, what's going on, Jada Don? You think we can still acquire Dante DiVincenzo during the off season? It's a dream for Knicks fans to acquire Dante DiVincenzo, right? I don't think it's gonna happen. Minnesota just re-signed Julius Randle. Maybe they have Dante DiVincenzo. He's on a great contract that was signed with the New York Knicks. He's owed like 10 to 11 per million. I mean, per $10 to $11 million per year for the next 2 or 3 years. Great contract for Dante, but I honestly think if you're going to acquire Dante, you're gonna have to pay a hell of a tax. So, Sharon says, good night. That is not true. This team are slow, small, and lazy on defense. Sharon, what's going on, man? Appreciate you in the chat, man. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. Just bring you guys some news. So first and foremost, we have Yudai Baba, signed to the Knicks Summer League. Summer League starts next week. We have the Mike Brown contract right here on your screen. 4 years, $40 million from Mike Brown. And that is not official yet, but I'm sure next week it'll probably be signed, sealed, and delivered. So Mike Brown is your official head coach. And look, a lot of Knicks fans still don't like it. And guys, what I would tell you guys is, just give him a chance, man. Just give him a chance. I understand your frustration, but just give him a chance. And I don't necessarily think that it is a lateral move like some people are saying. I don't. Because Mike Brown offers more than Thibs did, with the personality aside. Look, Thibs, I'm just giving him his opportunity. And, I'm starting to be optimistic, cautiously optimistic about Mike Brown. And we just have to wait and see how it turns out. But, Mike Brown has a hell of a resume. There's no denying that. Hell of a resume in this league. Assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors for those championship years as well. So let's just rock, man. Let's rock with our team. Let's rock with Leon Rose, and let's go. Appreciate you guys in the chat. 100 people in here. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. DJ Airhorn for every single one of you hopping on this live on this Saturday evening. So, yeah. Okay, next news. Right? So Tokyo Drift is in the Summer League. Yudai Baba, Summer League. Mike Brown's deal coming out. 4 years, $40 million. Next news. Here we go. This is from Stephen Bondi. Gershon Yabusele's contract is expected to land a little less than the full $5.7 million mid-level exception next season, the Post has learned, providing the Knicks enough cap space to sign another player on a veteran minimum contract, helping out his new team. Thumbs up in the chat for that, man. Thumbs up in the chat for that. That is incredible news to hear as New York Knicks fans. Incredible gesture by Yabusele. And look, what did he leave on the table? He's still getting paid a lot of money. But that is an incredible gesture. He got low blow by the Philadelphia 76ers. He said later came out, Stephen Bondy said they only offered him $2.7 million or something like that from Yabusele. So in this past week, the New York Knicks have drastically improved their bench. And not only have they drastically improved their bench, they still have another veteran minimum slot. So if you look at the veterans out there, which Ian Begley reported that the New York Knicks are still looking for a backup guard, there is quite a bit of interesting names still out there. Ian Begley brought up Ben Simmons. The New York Knicks were considering Dante Exum, and Exum was considering them before he agreed with Dallas. Right? So Malcolm Brogdon has been a name that I'm actually intrigued with. Do they sign another center? Right? Do they sign like who's out there? Bamba. Wayne says Westbrook in the chat. I don't think they're going down that route. I don't. Anthony says sign Damian Lillard. Thumbs up for Yabu, man. Sign Ben. Joel says 70-win season is possible. Nostalgia says shout out to Yabu for looking out. Shout out to Yabu. Honestly, for doing that gesture, man. Shout out to Yabu. Wayne says bottom line is the players were done with Daves and needed a new voice. Yes, Wayne. Agree. Bottom line. Sometimes that's all it takes is a new voice. Right? All it takes is a new voice in the locker room. And a lot of our major pieces were done with Tom Thibodeau. So Mike Brown is in here, and he is a character. He is a new voice, and I'm started to get on the train, and that's the Knicks fan in me. You know, prior to the signing, I didn't want him, but he's here now. What can we do but support the club and support the team and support Leon Rose's decision? But yes, Yabusele's contract is expected to land a little less than the full $5.7 million mid-level exception. So this is major news, man. You know, do you think the New York Knicks still need a shooter? Like this Rover says in the chat. I think they need a sniper, a maker, right? Do you think they need another ball handler? Do you think they need another backup wing? Do you think they need another backup center? If you look at our center position, it's Mitchell Robinson. It's, you know, if you want to call Karl-Anthony Towns a center, it's Karl-Anthony Towns, and it's Huck Porty, you know? And that kind of makes me nervous a little bit due to the injury history with Mitchell Robinson and Huck Porty. I'm not going to lie to you. It kind of makes me a little bit nervous. So, do the New York Knicks decide to shore up that position and sign someone? Sign a center. Or another backup guard. Otonio says sham it. AP, what's going on? Appreciate you in the chat. Edward says Ben Simmons, not sure about him. Nostalgia says need a center. Yeah, like, I thought about this last night. Your center position is strong, right? You can play Towns there. Mitchell Robinson will probably get the start for 60 to 70 games. Harporty's just coming off a meniscus injury. I get you have Yabu, so that's a start. So I think you got to get someone else in there. I do. Just to kind of like shore it up a little bit. But hey, that position is like you can sign. Like, let me look at the free agents that are out there. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, they're very thin at that position. Mitchell Robinson, let's say, knock on wood, this, I mean, I'm not obviously calling for this. Mitchell Robinson goes down and Hope Porty goes down. You know, then you're very, 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 very thin in the front court. So, Block says, need a stretch big power forward. McBride is good enough point guard. He's available. Al Horford. Yep. Vertify, what's going on? Says, don't have cap space. We have that veteran minimum that we're just talking about. Horford is still out there. He is still out there. El Figgy in the chat. What's going on, El Figgy? Hope all is well with you. Fun fact, when Leon was looking for coaches in 2020, it was between Thibs and Brown. We went with Thibs, and now might have buyer's remorse. He's ready to give Mike Brown a shot. Yes. Tom Thibodeau got his shot, turned the team around, turned the franchise around, turned the culture around, built the culture. We hit a ceiling with Tom Thibodeau. His voice got stale in that locker room, didn't expand the rotations, didn't trust the rookies, played the guys 46 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets on a night in February. Mike Brown, new voice, comes in, tons of experience, won championships as an assistant coach. And I believe that, you know, they think that he's the right choice. What's going on, El Figgy? And we just have to trust and hope. El Figgy says, hard to know what Horford can do because Thibs never gave him a fair, Huck Porty, excuse me. I said Horford. Shot, and then he got injured. I like his aggressive play. Horford on Golden State. Is that official? I don't think that's official. I think Horford is still out there, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen that that news. I don't think Horford is signed with Golden State, if I'm not mistaken. Here is the free agent tracker. So let's go to center. So you have Steven Adams re-signs with Houston. Aldama will re-sign with Memphis. Ayton will sign with the Lakers. You have Bismack Biyombo. You have Bobo. I kind of like Bobo. I kind of like Bobo. Miguel says the thinking is that Yabu supposedly took the biannual instead of the who knows. Yeah, all we know is that, you know, he took less money, so the New York Knicks have that veteran minimum to offer. I kind of like Bobo, who's out there. Thomas Bryant, I kind of like, but I believe he's coming off an Achilles injury, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be off base. Pacers had so many. Maybe that's Tony Bradley. Pacers had so many Achilles injuries this season. Carlson, Dante. I mean, these names are just Jackson Hayes. Al Horford is still unsigned, so he's out there. Knicks picked up the Ariel Porty option. Kai Jones, DeAndre Jordan. I mean, Alex Len. Guys. I mean, the center position is Tristan Thompson. You know. Now let's go to the guards. Right? Batum is rumored to re-sign with the Clippers. Beasley's dealing with a gambling scandal. Brogdon is available, which intrigues me, because at least he could play some D. Burks can't play D. I wouldn't like that. If the New York Knicks were going to sign another guard, I would want someone who's going to play a little bit of like defense and can hit threes. But these guards are Markelle Fultz, Javonte Green, Quentin Grimes. I wouldn't mind him, but he's going to command what, $15 to $20 million a year. That's no way you're signing him due to the apron rules. So if the New York Knicks were to sign another guard, I would lean towards someone who can play some D, because defensively right now, is a question mark with this team, right? I mean, we're talking about how elite this offense can be. We're talking about how elite this New York Knicks team can be. But defensively, there's some question marks there, right? Does a year with Mitchell Robinson starting at the helm help that? I think it does. I think it helps Karl Anthony Towns. Does another year of continuity help Mikal Bridges fight over picks? And, because he's kind of slow fighting over picks with the lateral quickness against opposing shooting guards. Does it help with the communication? Because that's all we heard last year in the playoffs is the New York Knicks were having communication issues. More so Karl Anthony Towns. I think another year with this unit helps that. It can't hurt, right? Remember, it was their first year. 2 wins away from the NBA Finals. So I think this next signing is going to be more defensive led and more a D&3 type of guy. Like Brogdon to me makes sense. It does. A little bit. But then you wonder, I have a logjam at the guard position. Because then you have Brogdon, Deuce, Brunson, Bridges. Right? Logjam at that position. So I don't know if they go the guard route or I don't know if they go the center route. But you just signed Clarkson. So there's going to be a logjam there. But it's risky going into the season with just Mitchell Robinson, Ariel Hukporti, and essentially Karl Anthony Towns, Yabusele in your front court. It's risky. Of course, I'm talking right now. Right? A lot of things can change. The Knicks can make a trade in like a month or two. But it is risky going into the season with your front court like that. Right? Appreciate every single one of you guys in the chat on this Saturday evening. We're talking NBA, talking Knicks, and open up this live stream with the New York Knicks, bringing in Baba, the Tokyo Drift, coming to the Summer League for the New York Knicks. And we're talking about Yabu taking less money. We talked about the Mike Brown contract, 4 years, $40 million. Those numbers have come out today. And now we're talking about the New York Knicks having enough money to sign another player on a veteran minimum contract. So I'm excited. It's July 5th, and I'm saying I'm excited. I am excited to watch some Knicks hoops. Miguel says the biannual exception for 25-26 is $5.1 million. Appreciate you bringing that knowledge in here. Nostalgia says the New York Knicks have gone all offense. Gary Payne Jr. is out there from Amid. What's going on, Amid? Miguel says Ben equals defense. Ben Simmons he's talking about. He wants Ben Simmons on this team. Ben Simmons, the walking meme. This Rover says, hopefully Shamet comes back, even if we can't offer him as much as other teams. Yeah, look, one thing about Shamet kind of brings that defense and kind of brings and does bring the threes. Shamet impressed me in the series versus the Indiana Pacers. And let's not forget, towards the end of the season, with him being back in the rotation, he really started to figure it out with this unit, figure it out with this team. And that's important, right? Again, another year of Shamet out there on the team. Sometimes he'll play, sometimes he won't, but he can bring those threes. He can bring the defense a little bit too. I think he deserves that. So, Nostalgia says it's a logjam at guard. Ben Simmons makes more sense. See, Ben Simmons makes sense because he can guard 1 through 4. He can guard multiple positions. He can rebound. He can kind of play make. Don't need him to score. Like, please don't look at the basket if Ben Simmons is going to be on the New York Knicks. He will have some mean moments. He will have some funny moments. But he can guard a little bit. Health is another issue with him. Do you want to waste that on Ben Simmons, who can't stay on the court? I don't know. Boom, 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 boom. Somebody said, Anthony says, what about the 7-foot center that they got? Talking about James Najee? Yeah. He could crack it too. James Najee, right? But again, in a pivotal year, you're relying heavy on guys who really haven't shown you anything if you were to be dealt an injury. Because you got to guard against these injuries. Last year, the New York Knicks were what? The healthiest team in the league, right? So, credit to the Knicks health and training staff for getting this Knicks team ready every single night. But yeah, James Najee is intriguing. But are you really going to count on him? I hope. I like his upside. Isaiah says, Ant, seriously, how many ejections do you think Mike Brown will get during the season? I'm going to put that number at over under 5.5. Because Tibbs didn't get ejected, right? Tibbs argued a lot, but he didn't get ejected. AP, what's going on? What's going on? Chris says, hoping Marjon Beauchamp gets more playing time on the team. El Figgy says, one thing that hurt us in the Pacers series was we were answering their 3 with points in the paint. Can't win like that. Yeah. Agree. And Pacers have multiple guys that can put the ball in the basket, right? Multiple guys that can handle the ball. Multiple guys that can defend at the guard level, right? Beauchamp isn't on the team, right? Unless he's on the Summer League team. Chris, don't think Beauchamp is on the team anymore. Nostalgia says Ben can also play 1 through 5. James is raw. Ben Simmons is a waste of time. We already have Josh Hart on the team. Oh, man. I'm picturing lineups of Ben Simmons out there running with Josh Hart on the team. And, but defense is where the New York Knicks, defense is going to be something that will be a question mark to start the season. It will be, right? The Karl Anthony Towns pick and roll defense was terrible. In the Pacers series, terrible. The transition defense, terrible. Brunson, held his own a little bit, but you saw at times with Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns on the court, teams were just attacking it. So defensively, the Knicks have to shore up that position a little bit. They're limited in what they can do. They brought in Jordan Clarkson, doesn't play defense. He can score. They brought in Yabu. Not really a good defender, to be honest with you. He's a big boy. He's a big body. He looks like a linebacker out there. He can score. He can put the ball in the basket from 3, 38% three-point shooter. So the New York Knicks, they're going to be a really good offensive team. But defensively, it's going to come down to sets. It's going to come down to communication. It's going to come down to will. It's going to come down to want. And maybe one of these guys pops off. Maybe Pacome Daddier becomes really good for this team, right? Maybe Hook Porty becomes a really dominant force around the rim, right? As we saw glimpses and flashes last year before he got hurt. Maybe one of those guys pops off. Kolek, Kolek's undersized a little bit defensively. He'll be attacked, but I'm not really counting on that. But I think defensively, will another year of continuity will be important for this team. Will be extremely important for this team. Another year of guys playing with one another, being familiar in certain situations. Okay, OG Anunoby is going to help me on this. OG Anunoby's not going to switch with that. Just communication was just bad last year in the playoffs. Bad, And maybe a new voice, a new year with Mikal Bridges can propel him into being a better defender for this team. And if Mitchell Robinson will for sure help the starting lineup in terms of defense. For sure, clean up a lot of miscues in the paint. Guys, I think Mitchell Robinson is going to start. I think that's a given. You know, it came out. Ian Begley said that he thinks he has a lot of, he's hearing a lot of stuff that the New York Knicks front office want Mitchell Robinson to start alongside Karl-Anthony Towns. And your bench is just going to be, you know, Josh Hart off the bench in the bench role, which we traded him for. I think we'll be okay, man. I do. With the young guys, sophomore year, hopefully one of them can take a leap. I think we'll be okay. And it depends who we sign with this veteran minimum contract. Who's it going to be? So, I'm excited. Can't wait. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Jay Snow says, what's McCullers' upside? McCullers, man. McCullers is, he could be a really good scorer. He could be like a Josh Hart-esque type player, but with more scoring upside a little bit. Has to work on his shot, you know, efficiency. Injuries have taken a toll on, you know, his career all throughout college and unfortunately the start of his rookie season. But McCullers is one of those players who I think he could be good. Man, look, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm thinking all these guys can be good, right? It's not going to happen, right? But McCullers has some upside too. This Rover says, with reduced minutes from Mikal, he should be a lot better on defense this season. Agree. We are not going to have Mikal Bridges play 46 minutes against the Charlotte Hornets on a back-to-back night and a night in February. I hope. Right? I hope. I do not want to be on here in the post game screaming, and I don't want to do that. I know Mike Brown has a history with some teams extending his starters a little bit, icing out players in a rotation. Again, I don't want to think about the negatives right now, but I'm hoping that's not the case. Isaiah says, my thing is, though, who do we blame for the communication, the players or the coach more? On the court, I blame the players for that more. Agree, Isaiah. Look, there were many times when Tom Thibodeau was mic'd up and he said, Karl-Anthony Towns, man, you got to get back. You got to sprint. You got to run. You got to get back, man. You got to sprint. You got to play defense. It was just killing the Knicks, man. Killing them. And look, it is who Karl-Anthony Towns is. He is not a great defender, but I think with the right pieces around him, filled around him, I think you were 2 wins away from reaching the NBA Finals, but once you get to the Finals, you see how much of a beast the Oklahoma City Thunder is. Defense wins championships still, man. You got to play defense in this league. You could score all you want, but you got to play defense in this league. And that hurt the Knicks last year in the playoffs, and it's something that we're going to watch next year. El Figgy says, we need to make a real run this season. OKC got exposed by Denver and Indy. We can do this. Let's go. East is open, guys. Yes, you have the Magic. Yes, you have the Hawks that have improved, but the New York Knicks should be sitting at top of the Eastern Conference with the Cleveland Cavaliers up there. Currently constructed. You still can make a move here or there. Let's say they don't extend Mikal Bridges. Then he's trade bait. You trade him for something, right? If Mikal Bridges doesn't want to be here, but that I'm hearing that. I mean, I don't think that's the case. But your team hasn't changed. Your starting five will change next year with the insertion. Joseph, appreciate the subscription. Insertion of Mitchell Robinson in the starting five. That brings Josh Hart on the bench, off the bench. You know, your bench is kind of, I wouldn't say deep, but it's kind of good. You have Deuce McBride, you have Jordan Clarkson, you have Josh Hart, you have Yabusele, you have Hukporti. Daddy A, does he crack the rotation? You know, your bench is kind of shaping into form here a little bit. Kolek, does he crack the rotation? So I like what the New York Knicks are doing right now. And they can make more moves. They can trade Josh Hart, right? They can just tinker with the bench like that. They can make moves like that. I don't think they will. I'm not saying that they will, but they can make moves because Josh Hart contract is tradable. Mikal Bridges contract is tradable. So Clarkson and Josh Hart and Yabu off the bench. This Rover says, I wish Dante didn't cost like $14 or $15 million. Warren, what's going on, Warren? Clarkson is not a point guard. He's a guard. I think you meant Brogdon is a point guard. Yeah, exactly. The thing about that is Jordan Clarkson is not really, he's a tweener, right? He's a shooting guard, more of a shooting guard than a playmaker. Brogdon is a legit point guard. Deuce McBride is not a point guard, right? He can't create. He can create a little bit. More of a catch and shoot type of guy. Transition type of guy. Really impressed me in the series versus Boston with his defense. Seemed to be healthier. But in terms of like actual legit point guard, that's Tyler Kolek's vision and whoever the Knicks decide to bring in as well. And obviously Jalen Brunson. So, but hey, they made it far with just essentially Jalen Brunson and campaign and Deuce, right? So let's go. Anthony says salute. What's going on, Anthony? Salute. Appreciate you in the chat, Anthony. El Figgy says Mikal has to play nice on contract signing day. I was underwhelmed by him. A lot of people were. Really turned the corner in the playoffs though, with those two defensive sequences versus Boston, and had a couple of bad moments versus the Indiana Pacers, taking a fadeaway jump shot on a fast break. Yada, yada, yada. But I honestly think Mikal was one of those players who really just didn't look happy and had his moments, and was one of those players who wanted Tom Thibodeau gone because he was the only player to kind of voice his frustration in the media. And maybe a new voice would change that. Maybe a new voice would change Mikal Bridges' attitude. And I'm hoping for that if he's on the team. Got a super chat here that I'm going to get to. Yuri. What's going on, Yuri? Always appreciate the support. Listen, the way I look at it is that they are going to sign one more person. Let's give Mike Brown the benefit of the doubt. Sacramento is soft as crap for letting him go. I'm excited for this summer league. Yuri with the super chat. Appreciate you, Yuri. Yeah. Look. People get fired, as I said yesterday. Mike Brown, I believe, fired 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. 4 times, 3 or 4 times. People get fired. Well, why did I do the DJ horn again? Sorry. Excuse me. Tom Thibodeau got fired, right? There's outliers. There's Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich. There's always outliers. But in a pivotal season, in a championship expectation year, right? It's weird saying that because we really haven't had a year like this going into the season. Like, if the New York Knicks don't at least make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, I wouldn't call it a bust, but a lot of people will be kind of disappointed, especially looking at the landscape of the Eastern Conference, where you don't really have a top dog. Does Cleveland gain experience another year? I don't know. I don't trust them. I don't trust Donovan Mitchell. You really have to be thinking, does the Magic take a leap? Does the Hawks take a leap? They will take a leap. Does the Heat come out of the blue and all of a sudden come out of the woodwork? What happens with Giannis? The Bucks, you trust the Bucks now that they got Turner? I don't. So in a year where many Knicks fans are expecting them to reach the NBA Finals, right? Pressure's on, right? Pressure cooker is on. But it's New York. There's always pressure. But next year will be filled with pressure. And with an improved bench, one more person to sign. Does one of these sophomore players blossom? That's what I'm banking on. Like, Pacom Daddy is 19 years old, ladies and gentlemen. 6'8", 19 years old. Probably grew an inch in the past month. Like, showed some flashes too. What if he blossoms? So I'm excited for next year. But yes, this one more slot is going to be key. I'm interested. Appreciate the super chat, Yuri. Chris says, so is Precious or Payne coming back? Don't think so, Chris. I think Precious Achua's replacement is Yabu Selly. Miguel says, exactly. Mitch is the obvious target for a straight-up trade. The alternative is snatch Dante in a multi-team trade. It's interesting regarding the Mitchell Robinson thing because the New York Knicks were interested in multiple centers, right? And that tells me that they don't really trust the health of Mitch, or, you know, they think that that position's already thin. They were interested in a DeAndre Ayton before the Lakers signed him, and that was predictable. So that was interesting when I saw the New York Knicks were interested in DeAndre Ayton, right? I think they want to shore up that front court a little bit. I do. And we just have to wait and see who that is. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Once again, we are chopping it up, talking about the New York Knicks, kind of reset the room a little bit. We opened up with Yudai Baba. He will be playing with the New York Knicks Summer League, as well as the sophomore players. Summer League starts next week. We went through the Mike Brown contract. He is officially getting 4 years, $40 million. So within the next 4 years, the New York Knicks are paying upwards to $70 million to 2 coaches. Remember, Tom Thibodeau's contract hasn't kicked in yet. Who cares? It's not our money. It doesn't count towards the cap space. James Dolan is, he's rich. So, the New York Knicks, one thing that tells me is that they are committed. They could have went into next year with Tom Thibodeau, fired him midway through the season, and started over again. That tells me that they didn't want to do that. They want a new voice. They got a new voice, and they think this year is probably one of the most important years that we have looked forward to in a long, long time. They are not playing any games. They are serious. And one more spot to fill. We got, so Yabu Selly, those of you just joining, Yabu Selly has taken less money, so the New York Knicks have a veteran minimum contract to give out. So we're just waiting to see who that is, right? We went through a lot of names. Malcolm Brogdon, you have Bobo, you have Kai Jones, you have Al Horford, man. Al Horford will be huge, but I don't think they go down that route because Yabu Selly is here now. So, you know, Horford's more of a, I don't know. I don't think they go down that Al Horford route. I don't. Bobo, Bismack, Biyombo, do they go down that route? So a lot of names still out there. Ben Simmons can guard multiple positions, excuse me. And just going through the forwards names. So Precious Achiuwa is still out there, right? Don't think they bring him back. Marvin Bagley III, interesting. That one's interesting to me. Can we afford Marvin Bagley III? First and foremost, I don't think we can. Is he even eligible for the vet minimum? 7 years? Yeah. Injury history. Craig says they are not trading Mitch. What's going on, Craig? Cleveland keeps adding. I really like the Ball move. Knicks really needed him. Yes, they got Lonzo Ball, the Cleveland Cavaliers, for, you know, a bag of chips, in my opinion. But Lonzo Ball has an injury history. But Lonzo Ball would have been kind of like the perfect guard that the New York Knicks would have needed. But, you know, you get Jordan Clarkson. Lonzo Ball does play defense when he's out there. He has a high basketball IQ, so Cleveland has improved that position. But they've also lost as well. So, you know, Wayne says we should be locking up the 1 seed this year. Yes, sir. Bagley is Mitch Light. No thanks. Laugh if you want to, but Ben Simmons is a ball handling big that plays defense. Yes, Ben Simmons' name has been talked about. El Figgy says not give it up on him. I hope he doesn't let us down. He was too sketchy this postseason. Who's talking about? Mikel El Figgy? Come back to me. Anthony says Yabu Selly is a beast. I spoke him into fruition. Appreciate that. Let's go. All right, so here are the forwards that are available. So Marvin Bagley III, interesting because injury history, always had upside, top pick. Knicks were actually interested in him, I think, last year. So, oh, you're talking about Josh. Okay, Josh Hart. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not giving up on Josh either. It's just that he has to be. The thing about Josh Hart is that Tom Thibodeau had a love affair for him. Played him way too many minutes at times. Played him with lineups that he shouldn't have even been on the court at times with Precious Achiuwa. So I think in his role, in the bench role for Josh Hart, I think that with the new coaching staff, I think they're going to put him in the perfect position. We know what he brings. Obviously, he's a beast. Love Josh Hart. But he just can't be out there for like 40, 42 minutes a game, in my opinion, because, I mean, he just can't, you know. Isaiah says, honestly, don't care what seeding we get as long as we play great in the playoffs and play good. Yeah, same, Isaiah. Same. El Figgy says, Clarkson is looking good shooting the Knicks gym. Looking good. Look good shooting in the Knicks gym this week. Yeah. Clarkson, one thing about Clarkson is he could shoot. He could score. Bagley is part of the Anthony Ambulance University. All right, so you got Imani Bates. Batum is interesting. Interesting. But rumor has it that he's going to return to the Clippers. There was some interest in Chris Boucher, I think. There was some interest there, right? If you don't remember, there was some interest there. That'll be a nice addition. Thomas Bryant. Torrey Craig, Isaiah Crawford, Jay Crowder, no thank you. Kessler Edwards, Justin Edwards. So there's still some Taj Gibson. There's still some names out there that are interesting. So yeah, we just have to wait and see, right? We just have to wait and see. Old Head says we really need a Daddy. Really need Daddy and McCullers to step up. Hart is better off the bench. That is the ultimate. Like if Pacom Daddy can become a rotational wing that can stretch the floor, and we saw at spurts his defense improved a little bit. It just sucks because we didn't. Like, he got just thrown out there sometimes. Like, I know he was 18, but he just didn't really get opportunities. Like, Tom Thibodeau didn't give him opportunities. And it was, like, weird, that situation. Like, they targeted him. They drafted him. They played him in game 1 versus Celtics. Remember, Precious wasn't playing. And they just never went to him. Tom Thibodeau never went to him. So, if he can become kind of a rotational player for us off the bench, Daddy I'm talking about, that will solve a lot of what we're talking about here, right? But his defense still needs proving, and you know that's a lot to ask for a sophomore leap. It is. Wild Boy Trey, what's going on, Wild Boy Trey? Clarkson will win 6th Man of the Year again with the Knicks this time. Let's go. Let's go. El Figgy says if Mike Brown will pull the plug, Josh Hart and at the right moments during games this year and use him for energy and rebounds, then he'll have a career season. I agree, El Figgy. The thing about, I already said Tom Thibodeau just loved Josh Hart, and as you should. I mean, Josh Hart offers so much to your basketball team, but it was just at times last year it was just too much Josh Hart. Like, the rotations were really questionable with Tom Thibodeau, and he's gone. So Shoquan says Cam Whitmore got traded to the Wizards. You think we got a great chance to get their 1st round pick next year? I don't, Shoquan, unfortunately. I mean, the Wizards are trying to tank. If you're a Wizards fan, man, I mean, look, anything can happen, right? Brogdon is a free agent. Bub Carrington, I kind of like. Champagny, Bill Calabi, their defensive stopper. Kaishawn George. I mean, Trey Johnson. There was a report today that Corey Kispert may be on the trading block. Hey now, Corey Kispert, imagine that. CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton. Are these expired? Or does Chris Middleton still have another? No, Chris Middleton, I think, has another. Yeah, he picked up his $33 million option. Look at that. And obviously their first round pick last year, Sarr, who I think has a tremendous, Alex Sarr, who I think has a tremendous upside with him. So I don't look. The Wizards are going to be a lottery team again. You just hope that they win enough games to fall 9-10, and I don't think they do. But I ultimately, when it's all said and done, I think the New York Knicks will acquire 2 second-round picks, because if that pick doesn't convey, the New York Knicks get 2 second-round picks in that draft. So they will be high second-round picks. And like I said earlier, second-round picks are valuable. You can find some hidden gems in the second round. So that is probably the most likely scenario regarding the Wizards pick next year. So, but I believe the New York Knicks have their pick next year. I believe we own our 2026 pick. So, next year will be interesting in terms of drafting. Appreciate you guys in the chat. 140 in here. Smash the like button, subscribe, all the good stuff. Any direction you guys want to go. We talked about the Brown extension. Now, we're waiting to see, what direction the New York Knicks go in terms of signing the veteran minimum. I was talking about their front court being a little thin, because if you're going to start, let's say they start Mitchell Robinson. They don't need to start Mitchell Robinson, right? Mike Brown can look at this and say, look, let's start Josh Hart still and have Mitchell Robinson off the bench. He could. I'm not saying I like it, but that gives you Mitchell Robinson off the bench. That gives you Hukporti, break glass in case of emergency off the bench. I don't think he goes that direction, but if you insert Mitchell Robinson, and Mitchell Robinson missed majority of the year last year and was healthy throughout the playoffs when he returned, right? If you insert Mitchell Robinson in that starting lineup, your backup center is Ariel Hukporti. And what I said is that, can you really put all your eggs in that basket in terms of durability issues with both of those centers? Hukporti meniscus last year, Mitchell Robinson ankle, seems like, all the time. So if one of those players goes down, you're kind of thin. I mean, obviously you can start Karl-Anthony Towns and you can insert Josh Hart if that happens, but that's worst case scenario, right? That's worst case scenario. But you want to guard yourself for these situations to happen. In terms of the guards, ball handlers, one thing this New York Knicks team needed desperately was a ball handler and a creator, right? Someone who can create their own shot, someone who can get open when a play breaks down, crossover, step back, and that is Jordan Clarkson. He can get open. He can attack the rim. He loves to attack the rim. Good mid-range shooter, good finisher around the rim, actually. Poor efficiency in terms of shooting the three. He can score. He can shoot you in a game. He can shoot you out of a game. His shot diet is kind of questionable. But ultimately, for the price you got Jordan Clarkson for, you had to get that done. Like, that was kind of like a gift for the New York Knicks in acquiring Jordan Clarkson. Love the move. Yabusele also 38% three-point shooter. He will be replacing Precious Achiuwa in terms you can play many different 5-out liners with Yabusele, right? So it's still early, July 5th, but this New York Knicks team is shaping up with Summer League on the horizon. Let's go. Veteran minimum. Who will it be? Will it be Ben Simmons? If the New York Knicks sign Ben Simmons, how many of you will clown him for it? I wouldn't clown him for it. I would understand it. I would. Nick Yak, nope, LeBron did not get extended. Unless he got extended during this live stream. But he is in the final year of his contract. Cavs are a threat, but don't sleep on Orlando or Atlanta. Agree. All dead. Chris says, Lord, no, in terms of Josh Hart starting. Soldier says, no heart. 2026 draft, the New York Knicks should draft Bryce James. Backups, Mitch, Hart, Deuce, Clarkston. Amid, what's going on? Says, any word on Mike Brown hiring an assistant coach or an offensive coordinator and defense coordinator? Any suggestions for possible names out there? Yeah, look. James Borrega is a name in which Mike Brown has been reported really wants to be on the bench on the New York Knicks. But there are hurdles regarding that. Obviously, the Pelicans, he is employed by the Pelicans right now, and they would probably have to give him permission. And I wouldn't see why wouldn't they? Like, if he wants to go from the Pelicans to the Knicks, I wouldn't see why the Pelicans would stop that. But James Borrega, I think it's Borrega, was on Mike Brown's team. James Borrega is a name. That's a name. To watch. In terms of like Johnny Bryant, I don't think you're getting Johnny Bryant back. I don't think they dabble in that. It was reported that Rick Brunson is staying. Maurice Cheeks is going to stay on the bench. So James Borrego has been the only name that I've been hearing regarding the New York Knicks. Pulling this up right now. The Knicks have their eyes on James Borrego, the right-hand man to Brown. So they interviewed, remember we interviewed Borrego for the head coaching job as well. So I do think the Knicks get that done. And if the Knicks get that done, that'll be huge. That'll be huge. Yep. Makai Nori too is a name to watch. So I think if you can get Borrego or Nori, that's a win from the New York Knicks. That really shores up the assistant coach. And because offensively, you want to really maximize this Knicks team to their full potential, right? And at times last year, we really thought to ourselves like this Knicks team has many, we just felt like they were being held back at times offensively, right? And it shouldn't be like that when you have legit the best, probably one of the best starting fives in the NBA, right? So we just have to wait and see regarding that. Bitch can share minutes with Cat and Huck. Johnny going to be staying with Spider. Margaret, what's going on? Knicks are not gutting their team for a 41-year-old. Talking about LeBron. Alan Hahn was really advocating for LeBron James. And his thought process was, look, the New York Knicks have probably their easiest path to the NBA Finals right now. And if you put LeBron James on this team, does that enhance their chances even more? Right? But you would have to give up, Mikal and someone else. So, man, depth is important in this league, I know LeBron is LeBron, and saying no to him is, wild. But depth is super important in this league. I mean, we just witnessed it firsthand. The Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, two of the deepest teams, right? And two coaches that weren't afraid to go deep in their bench. So it's important. It's important. I hope Shamit comes back. Phil Handy from the Lakers has also been mentioned, since we probably won't get Borrego. Phil Handy from the Lakers. Who mentioned that? Begley? I thought I saw that. I appreciate you bringing that info in the chat, Slim. Yeah, look, a lot of different ways the New York Knicks can go in the next week. Obviously, we still have the veteran minimum that we have to, figure out who is that going to be. Do they sign a backup guard? Do they sign a backup center? Do they sign a wing? Who knows? But I think that will get done in the next week, probably before Summer League. Again, Summer League starts for the New York Knicks, I believe, on July 9th. And we open up this live stream talking about Yudai Baba. Tokyo Drift will be in the New York Knicks Summer League. And obviously the sophomore players and James Najee, obviously. So I'm excited to watch the Summer League. But yes, Las Vegas Summer League starts July 10th. The 10th. July 10th to the 20th. The Las Vegas Summer League. Schedule hasn't come out yet. So, but once it does, I will get to you guys that schedule. But yeah, Summer League next week in 5 days. El Figgy says, is it true that Indiana is interested in Precious? El Figgy, I haven't seen that, but Indiana has been dealing with many injuries, and they obviously have the loss of Miles Turner now, the loss of Halliburton now. So they have to kind of fill their roster in a way. It's baffling that they were one game away from winning the NBA championship, and two of their major pieces are not going to play next year, and one of them has transferred to the other team in the division. So we'll see. This Rover says it's baffling how many Knicks fans absolutely loathe James Dolan but end up doing the exact same thing he did, wanting every shiny new toy immediately. They hear big name and immediately go to the Knicks. We saw that with LeBron. We saw that with Damian Lillard. Or Bradley Beal is a name that people have linked to the New York Knicks, but I don't think the Knicks dabble in any one of those. So the summer schedule is out. What I'm seeing right here is it isn't. Oh, it is out. Friday, July 11th. Knicks Pistons, 6 p.m. That's our first game, right? Appreciate that. I was looking at it too. Yeah. So the Knicks play July 11th. Is their first Summer League game. New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons, 6 p.m. Eastern. That will be on NBA TV. So that is the New York Knicks' first Summer League game, and that is the first time we are going to watch the sophomore players and the rookie play and Baba play in the Summer League. So we're looking forward to that. That is next on the calendar. But if anything pops up, obviously I will be on here. Once again, I am back. I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. Thank you for the support, as always. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for the support. Thank you for becoming a member. If you want to become a member, just hit the join button down below. We have a Discord. It is pinned up in the chat. We talk Knicks 24/7. And also, we do live call-in shows. And I will be doing a live call-in show shortly. Obviously, I will let you guys know what show is that. I will take your calls, and you guys can talk Knicks during the summer. And we do that over on the Discord. Just hit the Discord link. We also have a website, knicksnationmedia.com. Sarah does a great job at pushing articles out. Be on the lookout for more articles. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter is linked up below. We are back doing live streams. Appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Saturday night. Once again, it's Let's Go Knicks. Probably will be back tomorrow doing a live stream. Don't know, but always stuff to talk about over here at Knicks Land. So appreciate you guys rocking with me. Appreciate the support. Appreciate every single one of you. Again, I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation. I'll catch you guys next time. Have a good rest of your Saturday evening. Be safe. And as always, it's Let's Go Knicks. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.